let's talk a little bit about Destiny 3. If I do make this into a video, which I probably am, I guess I should just start off with a hi ass across. Because I know you always rewatch and react to my videos. So what's up, Cross? What's up, babe? Anyway, we're gonna start kind of from the beginning here. Way back, what, 2014 or whatever? You know, Destiny 1 came out, the game that we all loved and fell in love with. I didn't start playing until a little bit after the Crota raid drop. But you know, it was a game that was originally projected for 10 years and amassed a huge following very early and just became home for many of us, myself included. And it was just, you know, it was awesome. It was Destiny really is one of a kind, and I'll always love the game. As much as it might seem like I'm negative towards it, I'm just really not as negative as people think I am. My negative things just trend more than when I say the good things. I say a lot more good things about it, but the negative thing gets all the attention. So that's where that comes from. I am critical of it though. I'm very critical of it, and I don't take any shit from Bungie, and I'm not afraid to call them out when they do stupid shit, which they also do a lot. So, but yeah, let's fast forward, you know, a little bit. Like Bungie, when they were working with Activision, they were coming out with tons of content, you know, and it was crazy. It was so much, especially end game difficult content. The sandbox was way different. It was a little questionable and weird at first, but there was a lot of content coming out, and it was great for hardcore players. There was a lot of stuff to do. And then, you know, there was like the split with Activision, and then the content started slowing down and the model changed. And then at some point, you know, around what, 2020-ish, gosh, I don't know. You know, the whole seasonal model came into the picture, and that's when I think things started really going downhill, at least in the form of how the content was released, particularly for people that wanted to grind the game. But, you know, I'm not gonna beat a dead horse here. I've talked about this many times, and we all know how we felt about the old seasonal model. But it was still fine. Like, Destiny was still Destiny. We were still cruising. There were still, you know, raids coming out over the years. Lots of really good content still in the forms of dungeon and a lot of seasonal activities that people liked. But I didn't play it that much. I played maybe over the last 5 years, I played maybe a few weeks a year. And then the big final shape came out. You know, it was coming around, and it was just so perfect because there was so much hype around the game. And I think the final shape was actually delivered perfectly. And I've never been like more interested in the game. I was back playing with the boys, and we were just having a great time. And the raid was so brutal. And it was just everything that we wanted. Like we said, we would never have another Last Wish ever again. And we fucking did, almost exactly. Even worse, really. And it was just such this epic fucking conclusion with this beautiful cutscene and, you know, screenshot background that everybody used. And oh, it was so wonderful. Like it was perfect. And it was the ultimate layup for a Destiny 3. Even if it was just a little announcement or just, you know, we're done for now, we're working on something. Like it was just like the perfect fucking layup for Destiny 3. And I thought it was coming, and I wanted it so bad. And then they just fucking said like, nah. And they started promoting this episodic adventure shit, and I'm like, okay, what are we doing? You know, let's be real, these are just going to be seasons. And then they just pretty much just said nah, and they didn't follow through with a Destiny 3. And it was just like a god tier, once again, layup. It was so set up for this beautiful, successful game to follow up Destiny 2, and it just never happened. And I'm not gonna sit here and say that I told you so or all this stuff. I'm not gonna say any of that until we actually hear any confirmation from Bungie. But recently, very recently, over the last 2 days, it's currently November 26, 2025. There's been a lot of talk and buzz and chatter and leaks from some, I guess, somewhat reputable sources about a Destiny 3 being in the works. I've no idea how accurate it is, if it's even a thing. There is a huge chance that this probably is never going to happen. But if it does, this is awesome, because this is something that I've been saying for years that a lot of people just don't want to hear, is that Destiny 3 is really the only hope left for this game and for this franchise. And I'm not just saying that because that's what I want. It's just kind of facts at this point. You know, the game has been receiving more criticism and negativity towards it, and that's because they're what they've been doing, their model, let's be honest, it's not quite working as well as probably they want it to work, and it's not quite working as well as a lot of the players want it to work. And I think that just proves that the game is just never going to have the spark that it once did. Sure, it'll be able to hang on and whatnot, but it's just never going to be what the like all that high energy is just never going to be sustainable ever again with the current model. And that's why I started saying maybe in like 2023 that it needs a fucking total restart. It needs a reboot. It needs a Destiny 3. Now, the number one thing that when I talk about this game needing a Destiny 3 or this franchise needing a Destiny 3, people always say, well, what's the point? You know, it's just going to be grinding for all the same stuff all over again. No. That would just be more Destiny 2. I'm talking about Destiny 3. If your comeback to me is that's not going to fix anything, it's just going to be more of the grind. No, you're talking about Destiny 2. I'm talking about fucking Destiny 3. Brand new game, totally new story, completely new characters, totally new classes, new subclasses, new weapons, new bosses, new enemies, new everything. Like, same universe, could be a completely fucking different timeline. Anything. It's got to be a brand new restart, like something that feels completely fresh. It shouldn't feel like you pick it up and it's, oh, okay, this is kind of where Destiny 2 picks up. No, that would be a huge throw. That would be an epic fail, right? I'm talking about a whole fresh start. Like nothing carries over. You're not picking up another Fatebringer in Destiny 3. Like these are all, everything is creatively reborn essentially, right? That's what I mean when I say Destiny 3. Now I know that is a very ambitious, that is a very ambitious thought, but that's what it fucking needs. I mean, if they really want to bring that game back, like that franchise back to life and re-spark all of the wonderful moments that we once had, that's the way to fucking do it, right? And this could go terribly wrong, and they could release a D3, but it's actually just a D2.5, and it could just be the same shit. And yeah, for sure. Like, in which case, a lot of people that said D3 won't fix anything would be right. But once again, that's not actually a D3 then. They can take as long as they want, as many years as they want, to get those new characters and new subclasses and new weapons and new activities and new mechanics and new solar system. Like, I know it sounds mad ambitious, but like, just imagine that. That would be so sick. That'd be so sick. And they can fucking do it if they took the years and the time to do it and the resources to do it. They could. So whatever the fuck is going on with them and Sony and all that shit, they need to figure that shit out and make it happen, because that would make that company very, very successful, even more so, and would make them and Sony a lot of fucking money very easily. Once again, my view of Destiny 3 is extremely ambitious, and I don't expect to ever get anything like all of that stuff, but I think they can do a lot of that and deliver it in a beautiful package. But yeah, it just, the current model is just not something that's going to be able to sustain this franchise. And the franchise has been hitting franchise fatigue for a lot of players, and we've seen so many lows in like player population. And there's been the split with Activision, and then there's been a bunch of layoffs, and then there was the whole Sony situation. Now, I'm not even gonna sit here and pretend that I am intelligent enough or business savvy enough to make any sort of assumptions based off of all that stuff. I don't fucking know what goes on behind the scenes, but I do know what makes a good game. I do know what makes a game fun, and Bungie has always nailed the gameplay portion, but they just need something that's going to get rid of this franchise fatigue. There's also another thing where, like, a lot of people that first played Destiny 2 when it came out, because it was very poor, it was very like poorly received, there's a lot of people where that sour taste has just never left their mouth, right? And I've mentioned this before, but when I got invited to Bungie around the Forsaken era, they said, like, what would you rather, what do you think would be more exciting at E3? This is back when E3 was still a thing. Would you think it would be more exciting if we said we're going to continually evolve Destiny 2 and add content and destinations to it? Or do you think it would be more exciting if we said we're launching a new game called Destiny 3? And I immediately was like, absolutely Destiny 3. It's like a fresh restart. There's a lot of sourness in a lot of people's mouths from how bad Destiny 2 started off. I think this would be a good, sort of a good restart. And obviously that, and a lot of people agreed with me, but obviously that never happened. But now more than ever, that is absolutely true. And I'm sorry, but like, if you're one of those fucking little pussy baby fucking whiny crybabies, it's like, oh, well, I don't want to regrind all my stuff. I'm not playing Destiny 3. I like my toys. I like my Destiny 2 toys. I'm not playing a D3. I'm not regrinding that. No, thank you. I'm good. Congratulations. Good for you, man. Would you like a trophy, you little pussy? Fucking get off your high horse. Shut the fuck up. You're the fucking problem. Like, nobody cares. And to those people who say that they're good and they're not gonna play D3, I'm good. I want my loot. I fucking guarantee you. I guarantee you that when D3, if it comes out, guess who's fucking hopping over to D3 when that shit comes out? You'll be sitting there for like a couple of days playing your D2, looking over at D3 streams, and you'll be like, fuck it. You're gonna hop right on the train, buddy. You're gonna hop right on the fucking train, buddy. Sure, we'll just keep Destiny 2 just grinding into the ground so you can keep your god rolled Fatebringer. That's not what's good for the franchise. It's good. It's what's good and convenient for you. I'm not talking about what's convenient for me. I'm not talking about what's convenient for you. I'm talking about what is good for the franchise. And right now, that is absolutely a Destiny 3, because nothing is working to reignite Destiny 2. Maybe they got something fucking cooking back there in some machine that's just gonna blow the fucking caps off the bottles. Who knows? But it's been, what, 4 or 5 years of just kind of like, it's got its highs when the DLCs drop and the raids, but it's just kind of burnt right back to where it was every single time. It's even a downward trend. Dude, Destiny 2, I'm sorry. It's gotta fizzle out. I don't want the game to die. I don't want the franchise to die. In fact, I want quite the opposite, right? But Destiny 2, for that to happen, Destiny 2 does kind of gotta fizzle out, and Destiny 3 has to be a fucking thing, and it's gotta come out strong. And with these leaks, it's exciting to hear that leaks are potentially a thing for D3, but until we hear actual confirmation from Bungie, which if D3 is a thing, we will hear it eventually. If not, then fucking fair enough. Hey, I at least wanted to touch on this subject because D3 is something that I have been preaching for a very, very, very long time. And maybe with a lot of the changes going on around Bungie, maybe they're finally making the decision to do it. But this is me being very hopeful. And ultimately, that's what it's about, because I don't think the current model of the game is just giving much hope to the franchise. But I think D3 is without a doubt the most hopeful model possible for Destiny. So fingers crossed, man.